All right, I'm here with my friend Karen, and I'm teaching her about medicine. And Facebook is quite difficult to use because Mark Zuckerberg is trying to sabotage uh, the evidential man and woman. I'm not appreciative of how he conducts his machines, but he can have it. I would create something much better than Facebook if I really could sit down and do it. But anyway, I have to revert to linking back to my wall or whatever you want to call it here, my timeline. Basically, here's what I want to talk about. Now, this is what's wrong with medicine today. Currently, doctors know core medicine, and they're also learning the mechanisms that they're creating that have proven to not be effective. But doctors know core medicine, but it's quite insufficient. They're using some basis of fundamental stuff, and the problem is they need to sequence and configure all their biochemistries and physics. There are some more advanced doctors that have created better medicines, and some of those medicines may actually work, but it depends. They may also come with dangers and risks, but you'll have that in chemistry. Chemistry doesn't always have to be absolutely perfect for every circumstance. Sometimes there are risks involved in medicine. And sometimes things are temporary. And, sometimes things are reoccurrent. And you don't want to assume that it's going to be absolutely easy or absolutely perfect. Any doctor who claims that they have all the solutions, that everything works, that they're absolutely certain about any one particular medication, is actually a fraudulent doctor, because there are many circumstances where various dosages of even food can hinder medications. I've proven that to myself a million times. I've been on Invega Sustenna for mental health, and I proved to myself that you can drink a couple of beers immediately after getting an injection, and it reduces the negative symptoms of Invega Sustenna. It's pretty legit. It seems to be working that way. There are other things that reduce the negative effects of Invega Sustenna too. So there's all kinds of different reasons why medicine either does or doesn't work. And today's world is quite toxic. Okay, today's world is insufficient chemically. Many people have no clue how to do chemistry. They've never studied biochemistry or biology or the study of physiology or anatomy, and they don't know that it is extremely quantum physical. The system is very quantum physical, and they don't even know how disease works, especially pathophysiology. It's quite insufficient. But I also want to hit on another thing. All viruses should be recognized as different but potential life threatening, at the same time potentially immutable. Okay, and that goes into understanding what we've learned in history. Now, I'm not going to say any of this is absolute, but apparently people have survived some very critical tests. And there are very critical tests that will absolutely prove the science of medicine and the science of life in general. But you have to take risks a lot of the time to show these examples or these tests. So you might inject someone with a very obvious infection to prove that it's conquerable, or that it's deadly, or that there's an issue. There's different ways to do it, but they don't do this. They use lab results based on safe practices, legal practices. But they have to show how those legal dimensions work and how they relate to human life. So, basically, the law, this video will be called Some Laws of Medicine. Some Laws of Medicine and this is going to be Doctor's Law 101. And that pertains to being very careful and knowing that everything is potentially life-threatening. And there are certain laws that can be proven to make things less life-threatening or non-life-threatening. There's different ways to go about thinking everything out. It is quite complex. It's very quantum physical. It is a matrix that is working in tandem, combination, in sequence, in multi-sequence, and even very much simultaneously. So it's pretty awesome. The world, quantum physics is very complicated. So we'll leave it at that. And different energies can shift in a quantum physical entity or body. You can shift things, and that gets into everything about medicine, genetics. It gets into aging. It gets into life, growth, healing. Things shift, and that's an aspect of medicine. So that's what we're going to talk about in this video. This is going to be Doctor's Law 101.